excited. I'm so excited. I'm so scared. Hi crystal balls, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video today. If this is your first time here, welcome. Please think about sticking around, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. For everybody else, thank you so much for being on this journey with me. Guys, I really appreciate you all going back on some of my older videos and commenting. Thank you. Thank you so much. Like, that means a lot to me. I have some requests for Whitney Houston videos and, of course, with Jonbenet Ramsey, especially since she's in the news again. Honestly, I have not paid attention to exactly what that is yet. But we're going to do a reading just about that today. Guys, Whitney is she's amazing. And she will tell you when it's time for a reading. So I will do another one. I'm being very honest here. She will be like very much in my space, and that's great. Especially I get songs stuck in my head and I keep seeing things about Whitney. So I will do one as soon as she is, actually as soon as she tells me to. So before we get started on the reading today, which I totally did not prepare for, I just decided to do this video. We'll see what happens. It's cool. I want to quickly point out my shirt. I know it's probably backwards to you, but I will put pictures here. I also have one that is from Beetlejuice, which is a handbook for the recently deceased. This is from Twisted Gorilla. If you go to Twisted Gorilla and use the code LisaTebrinke, you get 15% off of your order. And I love these shirts. They're very soft. You know, I'm a bigger girl, you know, girls got it going on, and this is a good size. So everything that you see in the sizing chart is true to form, true to description. You don't necessarily need to worry about buying a size up or having to buy a size down. It's fairly accurate. So if you want to go onto Twisted Gorilla and use the code LisaTebrinke, 15% off. And then of course I love those shirts so much. It's my and there's so many people who didn't get the reference, and that makes me feel very old, but it's from Saved by the Bell. All right, so thank you again, guys. You're amazing. I really love you guys, and I love my Patreon, so thank you. I know there's something about Jonbenet Ramsey in the news right now. There was something on 60 Minutes in Australia. However, I have not watched that yet. And I don't want to kind of cloud this particular reading. We're just going to see what we can get here. I will just ask a question and see who answers. But right now, and I don't remember my other videos, even if I say things in the other videos, I don't remember what I said. So if this is repeating information, I'm sorry. But I feel like somebody wants to be heard. Never judge a book by its cover is kind of the theme I'm getting right away here. So, Page of Cups. So, this is again, I do intuitive readings. I don't necessarily do readings that are very much what the tarot card means. I do what I believe it says. So this honestly pops out as Christianity, the fish being the sign of Christianity, and this is just what I'm getting, but it is like, don't judge a book by its cover. So this is the person here who, you know, is dressed very nicely, but kind of keeps this covered. I'm not saying they're keeping Christianity covered. I'm saying they're keeping their true selves covered. it feels very much, again, this is very male centric, so I'm believing this is about Jonbenet. Um, very much in control, but then there's this little lizard down here that's saying something is not what it seems. Again, I just keep getting this whole thing here is you need to look behind the curtain like in Wizard of Oz. I am also getting the hermaphrodite, which is again a very religious symbology. But when I'm speaking about religion, and even though I mention Christianity, I don't mean that. I don't mean that type of religion. There is a structured belief system that I think Jonbenet and several other people believe in, including his son, allegedly, supposedly, for entertainment purposes only. His oldest son, not Burke, but I believe he is John Jr. There is a shared belief system that goes back a long time, like 200 years or so. I'm not going to, it's not a group. Okay, like it is, but it's not. So it's not like a group that you would typically hear of. It's not like, you know, certain organizations that have been around for a long time. This has absolutely nothing to do with that. They are two separate entities. This is something that is very elite. I almost want to equate it to what was the Skull and Bones Society. That was very much what Harvard graduates, but you know, how many presidents came out of that? That's a whole other thing. If you guys want to know about the Skull and Bones Society, let me know. This is something different. This is something that it's passed down for like 5 families. And just because it was 5 families doesn't mean that outsiders were not invited. These are very powerful people, very underground people that take positions of authority in society, but not the types of positions that you think they would. They probably own businesses and things like that, but they don't necessarily, like, they're not in politics. They're not really like in, they're not in situations where you would really think that you would see a leader. But these people in this particular group have a crap ton of power that they are wielding. And it just, again, this doesn't fit. Don't judge a book by its cover. It doesn't fit. It doesn't look like this. There's obviously an incredible amount of money around here, but I want to say Jonbenet had to do, John Ramsey is Jonbenet Ramsey. We know that. John had to buy his way in, but it wasn't him that made the first purchase. Like, I feel like this is a generational thing. This might be like 3rd or 4th generation. It's not going back very, very far, but that family had to buy their way in. In fact, they were looking on the outside for a very long time, trying to figure out how to get into this. Now, this is before John was ever born. This is before he was ever a thought. But it is like I've been skirting on the outside. This family, the Ramsey family, has been skirting on the outside of this particular group for a very long time. And it was something that was worth sacrificing or selling their soul, whatever you want to call it. There was definitely a lot of sacrificing happening. It was, you had to pay the piper, you had to pay the price. This is interesting because this is not just exclusively men. While it was the Ramsey family, the matriarch was very much pushing this. So this is something that was definitely from the mother and from the father, great, 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 how many ever of John's. But it was the matriarch of the family who was really pushing it because she saw a value of being involved in this group. It's almost like she pushed it, she encouraged it, she masterminded to a extent, but it was really the men of the family who took on the task of getting into this group. So this group would have had about 5 different families plus outsiders who bought their way in, and it really is bought their way in. And they, it wasn't, I just want to make abundantly clear that it was just as much influence of women as it is with men. But in this case, the matriarch of the family was manipulating the situation. Nothing comes without its price. So the tower is pure destruction. And just because they set it up back then and knew that there would be prices to pay, it doesn't mean that they themselves paid these prices. They did. But it's a generational thing too. So being set up in this particular group, it causes chaos. It causes complete chaos. It's very much a generational thing, and the price is so steep for this that it is human life. Now, there was return on what their investment was. So, yes, when they got into this world, into this group, into this organization, they did see a lot of good. And the thing is, they really believed that they would escape any sort of karmic reaction or even reaction in the world that they were right now. Basically, great-grandparents did not really believe that there would be a price to pay outside of money, even though this was made abundantly clear to them that they weren't just setting up themselves and the future of their family. They were also repercussions for themselves and their family for generations to come. And every generation had a say if they wanted to continue this or not. And I don't believe every generation did, but they were offered. And John said yes. But I'm telling you, these great-great-grandparents were incredibly arrogant, and they got the money that they wanted. They got everything that they needed and everything beyond that, but boy, did they pay for it. It's false. It's a false king. Like I keep seeing again that this perception is not reality, and I'm not 100% sure yet what this all has to do with the Ramsey case, but with Jonbenet, but I think this is what set her up to die. No matter the situation with Jonbenet Ramsey, she died because of this. It doesn't matter if it was a break-in or her dad did it or it was an accident. It wasn't an accident. There was no accident involved here. Okay. I'm just saying the manner that she died was incredibly cruel and disgusting and gross, and you can't necessarily believe in a view of a human being that is decent that people would do this to their child. But trust me, now, especially with studying social work, yeah, just look up Gabriel Fernandez's case. Yes, they do horrible things to their children, and this is, if there was a break-in, it was a setup. If there was something that happened, it was purposeful. Everything that was happened was purposeful. And I do still hear Patsy Ramsey like behind a door, almost like putting her hands up against the door to keep things out. And this is the night that Jonbenet was murdered. Again, the killing did not take place in that house. I don't believe it did. But I feel like she was almost like holding herself, her hands up against a door like this with trying to protect her son. I do believe that Burke was drugged to keep him asleep. But I do think he woke up several times, but probably now believes it was a dream. He had nothing to do with this. I just can't keep reiterating that enough. He had nothing to do with this. This child did not cause the havoc, because if parents were going to cover this up, look at the assault that was on that child. That does not make sense at all. So I digress a little bit. I feel almost like a Benadryl type thing was given to him, but more. Benadryl for a lot of people knocks them out, especially for a child who was 8 or 10. I don't remember his age right now, but he was young. Very, very young, and a little goes a long way. And I really do feel like both children were under some sort of influence. But again, I think it was more like a Benadryl situation. It would have been a legal drug, so something you would get over the counter, nothing that would be abnormal in an autopsy report. I think, I don't have a doubt that Burke went through the same sorts of abuse that Jonbenet did, but I do think he blamed her because she got more attention, and he was very angry about that. It's almost like both of us are getting the same thing. We're both having the same situation happening to us. Why does she get all of this flu of attention? Again, just kind of going from the flow here. I really don't know what I'm getting. But looking at the cards now, like I said, no matter what happened in that house, the kill zone was not there. And no matter what happened, this was planned. So if somebody broke into the house, because that very well could be, that was pre-planned. I don't think it necessarily happened that way. I think she was killed in another place. I think there's videotape about it. I agree with other psychics about that. I do believe for this experience of Jonbenet, her death is on video somewhere. I truly believe that, and I've seen that over and over again in my head, and that's disgusting, but this was a direct result of ancestors. So this is somebody who believes that they have everything in the palm of their hand. They have everything under control. But that isn't the case. Death pays for life. Death pays for things. And for a while, unfortunately, after Jonbenet died, they used her energy, so she was not crossed over. This could have been a few hours. This could have been a few weeks. She is crossed over now, but I really feel like they were like harnessing her energy. And I know that sounds strange, but that was happening. This is, again, very female driven, but I'm not saying that Patsy Ramsey was this person. I am pointing to a grandmother. A grandmother. I am almost like, okay, son, this is something that we were supposed to do, and we can't back out of it, and we're trying to have this family situation. Now, I don't know at all if Jonbenet or John Ramsey, I always say Jonbenet, if John Ramsey's mother was alive at this point. And again, this is all for entertainment purposes only, allegedly, supposedly, don't sue me. But this is what it feels like. It's almost like the matriarch of the family is reminding him of the price that he has to pay because he agreed to it. And again, just to remind you, this is not of the world. It's not of a god or somebody who is light, as far as spiritual good or anything like that. This is straight from the upside down. This whole thing is very devilish and very much a part of Satan. And I know that Patsy Ramsey was almost like hysterical with crying and asking Jesus to raise their daughter like Lazarus. That seems so staged to me. Again, I wasn't there, but I've witnessed a lot of tragedy, including tragic death of a child, and I've never seen anything like that. Now, I do need to give the benefit of the doubt of grief does crazy things to people. And there is a possibility that this was how she was dealing with it. But looking back now, kind of especially more with training that I have, it seems very theatrical. But I don't know. I do have to give the benefit of the doubt because I don't know. I was not there. I was not present. And grief has made people insane or has caused them to do multiple different types of harmful things to themselves and others. So, I don't know. But there's nothing real here. It's just, don't judge a book by its cover. It's very, ugh. I'm going to have to wrap this up because I'm getting tired. This is draining me. It's almost like, is this what you wanted, John? You got what you wanted. That's what I feel like. You got your pile of money. You got what you wanted. So is this what you wanted? You got it. Was it worth it? Yeah, congratulations, Dick. I mean, that's really what it feels like. There is refusal of help here. This is somebody that could have gotten some help, and I don't know exactly who it was. It could have been John. It could have been Patsy. This was not the children. The children didn't necessarily realize that this outcome was going to happen. This feels very adult. Like you could have taken this way out. You could have never walked this path. You didn't have to. And then you could have gotten help to get out of it, but you chose not to. I felt like I had no options. I felt like I had no way out. However, you did. I know people look at this card and see trapped. It's not. I always point this out. Yes, this woman is bound, surrounded by swords, and has a blindfold over her face. However, she's also standing in water, which probably makes her feel like this is a scary situation. these aren't very tight. She can get out of them. She can take the blindfold off. She can walk straight and not get cut by any of these things. This is an illusion. The illusion of not being able to get help or be able to walk forward or move forward or change your path, whatever the situation was. This, for this particular thing, is yes, you could have changed your path, but you were blinded by what you thought was going on around you, but you had many clear options. This whole area in front is clear. They could have walked free. They chose to deal, sorry, the phone call. They chose to deal with the dark. Whatever you want to take that as, they chose to deal with it, but I don't think it's something that they all wanted. So I'm gonna end this for today. That was, again, just kind of a poll to see what I could find. I didn't really sit down with any purpose. Got a little bit of information there, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and take a look at Twisted Gorilla if you like my t-shirt. Just a reminder, I'm also still selling items to help Indigenous women rising. That is going to be in the description box and the link below. Check that out. Otherwise, everybody have a wonderful day or night out there. Remember that every single day is a gift. Use your time wisely. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.